today's topic, as it was declared, awakening of transcendence. So we have come here to awaken ourselves to transcendence. I hope everybody is comfortable with English. Hmm? Okay. If any doubt is there, you can interrupt me anytime. So today is the starting of fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I hope three chapters are completed. Shuddha Bhava Prabhuji told me to start with fourth chapter today. And it's not that I am speaking, I'm just reading, I'm just trying to explain whatever I studied. And it's a kind of equal, discussion. It's not just a lecture. We are here to study the Bhagavad Gita together. So feel free to discuss anything that comes to your mind and give me your blessings so that I can be presenting this philosophy as it is, because it is stressed here also as it is. And especially in this purport of today, Srila Prabhupada has given the vastness of the timeline of the Bhagavad Gita. How much of the space or time is covered by the Bhagavad Gita, and who all are the personalities who actually take it seriously and what for they use it. So it's a very important, every chapter is important as such, but we are going deeper into the teachings of Lord Krishna. So spiritual life as such is something that gives meaning to life. It's a meaningful journey. Otherwise, it is quite meaningless when it is, the life is lived on the platform of body as animal lives. So, what makes our life, meaningful is spiritual dimension or dimension of dharma. And Bhagavad Gita is that dharma shastra. And we see that we need to see far and wide beyond mundane vision which is offered to us by our eyes or our senses. Our senses, ears, eyes, nose, tongue, sense of touch, jnanendriya, all of them can give us a very limited perception of life. But when we open book like Bhagavad Gita, it takes us far beyond the worldly conceptions of happiness obtained through material senses or body. Generally, people, they just, or we also, by default, we are in animal consciousness. By default, we live a life which is based on desire to satisfy tongue, desire to satisfy all senses. पेट भरने के लिए. So that is the default thing which comes to our default consciousness or default intelligence. But Bhagavad Gita is giving us much more. We explore a lot of depth of life through the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. So we see a much deeper existence of the self, not only existence of body. We see to be living on a very deeper level of soul. The basic teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, or as it is called ABCD of the Bhagavad Gita, is soul, science of soul. And the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we have seen Arjun being perplexed, and then he is being given this broader vision. Don't just see it as body. You see it as a broader thing. It's a dharma yuddha. It's not you and your relatives. It's not you and your enemies. It's much more beyond that. We are going to establish a rule which is natural and desired by God Himself. The Creator wants it that way. That's why Imam Rajarshayo Vidu. Why it is told to kings? Why it is told to the first king? Sun God. Why? So the reason was given by Srila Prabhupada, Brahma Samhita, he quoted. Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahana. Sun is Chakshu, means eye of the world. So, this science of soul is accessible to us through a deeper faith. It's a science in its own way. Srila Prabhupada has used the word science. This science, he says. Did you notice it? That's why I said every word Srila Prabhupada writes. The personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga. Do you find this word science in the actual Sanskrit verse? Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham abhyayam vivasvan manave praha manuh kshvakave. Where is jnana or vijnana? The shabda vijnana is not there. So where is Srila Prabhupada writing this science? For what he is writing science? Imam vivasvate yogam. Imam, this imperishable science of union with the Supreme. So, is it incorrect translation? Somebody who is literally reading Bhagavad-Gita would blame Srila Prabhupada that he is not translating as it is. What is your say? Is it correct? There is no word which means science in this verse. What do you say?
For the explanation of the exact concept within
Okay. Yes. That's why I use the word literal. It's not literally there, but it's the meaning that is realized by great saintly people, great devotees of the Lord, to whom this was revealed by a proper Guru Shishya Parampara. Because they realize it as science. So if I say this is an experiment by which you mix these two chemicals and then you will get this result at this temperature and this pressure or whatever conditions of lab, I would not use the word science there, and I would say this is the result you will get by performing this act. It is implicit that I mean a scientific process. It is implicit to the one who has faith. But this is translated by Srila Prabhupada for even faithless people, so that they don't take it as a mythological conception that how this much timeline is possible. So you have modern civilization has that effect that the word science. So he is not wrong. He is absolutely right. He is giving what exactly is required. Correct. Right. Even the second verse in this particular chapter, Evam Parampara Praptam Viduhu Sakalene Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. The supreme science was thus received. Again, he uses the word science. Second verse also, there is no word Vidyan in Sanskrit, but he uses the word science. So it's indeed a science. Therefore, what we cannot see by mundane eyes, bodily eyes, can be seen through the eyes of science. And therefore, the faith is scientific faith, as it is claimed here. For somebody who is not having any faith, he can accept it as a premise on which the next teachings of the Bhagavad Gita chapter, this chapter will be dependent on. So as we say, let us assume x is equal to 0, and we start solving the problem. So like that Srila Prabhupada is putting up. Let us assume that this is a science, and then let us explore. Explore it from that perspective. Don't just take it as some. If it is not science, you will not take it seriously. Today's modern brainwashed people. They won't take it seriously. Therefore, this word is particularly used, and the faith indicated here in the bona fide scripture is termed as scientific faith. So, little bit prelude of how we came to this fourth chapter. Second chapter already I told um, in the 39th verse of second chapter, Lord Krishna says, Esha te abhihita sankhya buddhi tu imam shunu. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Esha te abhihita sankhya buddhi yoge vimam shunu. Whatever you heard up to now was analytically told. What was analytically told? The science of soul, that it is beyond body, it doesn't die when body dies. A soul actually is traveling through bodily journey, dehinosmini athade, etc. So science of soul, and it is not cut into pieces, it is not burned, it does not die when the body dies. Like that, Sankhya Buddhi Imam Shun. सांख्य योग से भगवान ने बताया. सांख्य मतलब संख्या पूर्वक. You count the principles of your existence. There are 26 principles, and the soul is beyond them. So by analytical study, one can understand a little bit about soul. So now Krishna is switching the gear in the second chapter from 39 verse. Buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandhum prahasyasi. Exact translation is, now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Prutha, when you act in such a knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. So now Krishna is giving the next step. You finish degree, academical degree, and what do? Sit silently. You work. So Krishna is giving next step. Now with this knowledge you have to work. And work in such a way trapped. Because animal is trapped. Human is trapped? No. Is not supposed to be. Now some some miscreants may get trapped because of their misdeeds. Government may put them behind the bars because they have not followed the rules. So now Krishna is coming to rules by which one should act in this knowledge so that he is freed from bondage. What is bondage? Birth, old age, disease, death. Soul should not have them. That means all of us are, this is the proof, all of us are bound in a material body. So how do we free ourselves from material body? The trick is in working in that way. So therefore, how one can obtain equilibrium and detachment? That was explained by Lord Krishna in the second chapter. So Krishna recommends that Shrutivip pratipannate yatha sthasyasi nischala samadho achala buddhi tada yogam avapsyasi. When you will be in union with the Supreme, what is that trick by which you will be working in union with the Supreme? Means in yoga or in proper consciousness, in most natural required consciousness. The consciousness required to be your consciousness in human birth. Krishna is explaining that when our mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, Shrutivip pratipannate yatha sthasyasi nischala, means Vedas. Krishna explains that what are Vedas? Vedas are giving us various ways of enjoyment. How we can obtain our dharma, artha, kama, and finally moksha. So Krishna is trying to condemn kama, artha and kama, that those pursuits. He is wanting to, today's topic is entering into transcendence. So to enter into transcendence, Krishna has hinted in second chapter that you be samadho achala buddhi, tada yogam avapsyasi. You will obtain yoga or connection with God when you are situated in sameness, equilibrium. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas. And when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. So self-realization, Krishna wants. Then Arjun asked, what are the symptoms of such a person? Sthita prajnasya kalasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhir kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. How a transcendental person behaves. Because Krishna is saying you should act in a transcendental position. Arjun is asking what are the symptoms, how that person is situated. So there, those symptoms are brought out by Krishna. Dukkheshu anudvignamana prajahati yada kaman. Then dukkheshu anudvignamana sukheshu vigatasruha. Means you should not become too much joyful or too much sorrowful, because all of them are just like seasons coming and going, and they are happening with body. So you want to transcend the bodily platform. So first detach yourself from those temporary ongoing processes of so-called happiness, distress, favorable, unfavorable situations, or happiness and distress on the bodily platform. So there, one cannot be attached to the bodily platform, and therefore, last time also when we took Karma Yoga chapter, I think last month, we spoke that Karma Yoga is for those who are attached. There are two paths. One can directly transcend. If he has that kind of renunciation already arisen within his heart due to practice of yoga over number of births, it is possible that somebody is already situated in transcendence. Sixth chapter discusses about these kinds of personalities, how they obtain the previous lives yogic position. There is a discussion in the sixth chapter very clearly bringing out how a yogi obtains all his yogic progress that he has done. Labhate paurvadehikam, Krishna says. Paurvadehikam means previous birth, previous body, whatever he obtained in the previous birth. Labhate means he obtains in the next birth. So one who has detachment, for him transcendence is by a different, following a different path of renunciation. But for one who is attached, there is karma yoga. Nirvinnanam jnana yogo nyasinam iha karmasu. Nirvinnanam means one who is renounced among the three paths which are said, jnana yoga or भक्ति योग, कर्म योग, ज्ञान योग. इसमें से ज्ञान योग is meant for the one who are already situated on that philosophical platform. But न्यासीनाम इह कर्मसु तेषु निर्विण्ण चित्तानाम कर्म योगस्तु कामिनाम. कर्म योगस्तु कामिनाम means one who has material desires. For him, karma yoga is there. So we have already finished third chapter, karma yoga. It is meant for whom? Who has attachment? Who has attachments? I have. I have attachments. So I should seriously follow teachings of the Karma Yoga. Now the Karma Yoga also, third chapter, Krishna is, Arjuna is asking ki, why you are pushing me into this battle? If Buddhi Yoga is everything, if I have to stay on that platform of soul, why should I engage in this ghastly warfare? Then Krishna says that there are two kinds of people, and for karma yogena yogina, jnana yogena sankhyana, karma yogena yogina. So there Krishna stresses the point that even if you will run away from battlefield, you will be fighting because you have a Kshatriya spirit. In a way, Arjuna is representing a Varnashram person in Kshatriya spirit who is attached to his Kshatriya behavior, Kshatriya यू मे से स्वभाव, उसका स्वभाव है ऐसा लड़ने का. He has that push from inside. Similarly, we have our own pushes from inside, our own attachments, attractions, or aversions, or distractions, distaste or taste, likings, dislikings. We have our own. We have our own attachments. We can't be, at least I can't be, absolutely detached and whatever way my guru wants, I will serve. I am not on that platform. I have to come to that platform. So karma yoga is that way. Initially, when one hears, as we spoke earlier also, that one becomes little bit of um, detached from bodily platform when he hears about soul, and he also starts to become detached from working. So therefore, Krishna says, "Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma krita." One cannot stay without work. One thing. Other thing, sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyata karmana. Without working, you cannot maintain your body. So you have to maintain your body by working. You must work. Last time we saw this, that we can't be lazy. Even a sleeping lion cannot stay lazy. He has to wake up and search the food, or work hard to get his meat. Hmm? Yes, livelihood. So everybody has to work. If you have bodily concerns, you have to work. If you have a little bit of trace of bodily consciousness, you will have to work. And at what stage or level one has no obligations to work, that is also given in the third chapter. Naiva tasya krutenartho na krutenaiva kasyana. Na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschit artha vyapashraya. One who is elevated in karma yoga, for him there is no reason why he should not work, and there is no reason why he should work, Krishna says. So he is working just for the sake of working. And he is not either attached to fruitive positive results or negative results. He is just working for the sake of working without being attached to the fruits of his activities. And then he doesn't have to depend on anybody else for his sustenance, Krishna says. And that is also my position, Krishna says. Name parthastu kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. I don't have any work, I don't have any obligation, I don't have any duty. I am God. I can simply sleep like Mahavishnu. I can sleep and enjoy. I have no work. Trishu lokeshu. You put me in any 3 worlds, 14 planetary systems, there is no work for me. Nan avaptam avaptavyam. There is nothing that I want to obtain by my work. Still I work. Krishna gives his own example. Still I work. So working is, stressed in the 3rd chapter. Then working for a higher cause. Not only selfish, only body, beyond body. Beyond body, how? Krishna says that you were working for your body. Now you understand that food comes from rain. Rain comes from sacrifice. Yajna. Yajnat bhavati parjanya. Yajna karma samudbhava. Karma means when you do your karma yoga properly, duties, then rain will come. Otherwise, rain will not come, Krishna says. So, Krishna indirectly says you can't get food and rain without working. So, you have to work for getting food, getting rain, subtle way. And then there are devatas who are working. They are giving you rain and they are satisfied by your offering of yajna. So you are connected to higher system. So you work for them. And if you don't give whatever you take from them, stena eva sah. Krishna says you are thief. If you are not, you are simply getting all the benefits from nature and not offering anything in back as a sacrifice, then you are a thief. You are liable to be punished. So Krishna is bringing out, you work higher level, you work for the sake of nature. Then he says you work for the sake of giving good example to others. Yadyad acharati shrestha tattadevi tarojana. So in third chapter, all this is covered. Stress on work for a little higher purpose. Now, Krishna is saying, uh, you work without attachment. Attachment. 3.39. Tasmad asakta satatam. Tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Asakto hyacharan karma param apnoti purusha. Krishna says, therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. So now Krishna is giving us hints that one should be detached. One should not be attached. And when one becomes detached from fruits of activities, then he can attain the supreme. So if we want to go ahead in yoga practice, we have to become detached gradually. Isn't it? Now, becoming detached, is it easy? Becoming detached. When we put these principles into practice, it becomes evident that they are not so easy. What is the example? There is a story, famous story in scriptures, story of Dhruva Maharaj. We try to see that some verses from the discussion of Dhruva Maharaj in this respect. Yes. You know King Uttanpad, who was ruling the earth that time. He had two sons. One son from one Suruchi queen and one from Suniti. As the name suggests, Suruchi was his Ruchi. Suniti was good, moral, religious, spiritual, dharmic. And she was not that attractive to the king. And this queen, Suruchi, her son was sitting on the lap of king. And then Dhruva also wanted to sit on the lap of his father. And then Suruchi pulled him down and said, you can't sit there unless you take birth from my womb. Although you are the son of king, you are not my son. Therefore, you cannot sit on that in that place. And then little Dhruv, 5 years old, he was deeply hurt because he was attached. So he went crying to his mother, and his mother told him to go to jungle and pray, surrender himself to God. Then he goes, and then he meets Narad Muni. Narad Muni sees this 5-year-old son. He is awestruck by his determination. 5 years old, and the jungles that time were not today's jungles where there is no tiger, nothing. It was full of ferocious animals, and such a small boy determined so much. And Narad Muni advised him, you are so small, this is the age of playing with your friends. Why are you taking it so seriously? Go home, play, remain peacefully, happily. Don't worry, you go home. But he didn't listen. Then Narad Muni gave him the instructions that you should be equipoised, should be detached from honor and dishonor. Why what are you? Your parents are so elderly, they insult you. Why you are taking so seriously to the heart? Then what is reply of Dhruva Maharaj? It's very interesting. Dhruva uvacha soyam shamo bhagavata sukha dukkha hatatmanam darshitah kripaya pumsam durdarshosma vidhaistu yaha. Dhruva Maharaj said, my dear Lord Narad Ji, for a person whose heart is disturbed by the material conditions of happiness and distress, whatever you have so kindly explained for attainment of peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. But as far as I am concerned, I am covered by ignorance. And this kind of philosophy does not touch my heart. So, what is the Siddhanta here? If we are attached, we can't understand. We can't hold the knowledge. It leaks. It doesn't appeal because we are seeing everything through our attachments. So one who is attached, for him Karma Yoga is prescribed. Within Karma Yoga, same language of Narad Muni is spoken by Krishna, that you should be detached. But how? This is tested in Karma Yoga. When one does his duty regularly, slowly he sees his attachments getting revealed to him. He's not able to stay peacefully situated on equilibrium. So, again, my dear Lord, I am very impudent for not accepting your instructions. Guru Ravadnya, Guru agar instruction dete hain, if Guru is giving some instruction and if we are not following instruction, then it is Guru Avagya, one of the offenses, aparad. He is asking forgiveness. My dear Lord, I am very impudent for not accepting your instructions, but this is not my fault. It is due to my having been born in a Kshatriya family. My stepmother Suruchi has pierced my heart with her harsh words. Has it happened to you? Somebody speaks harsh words to you and you can't forget it for life. They burn you day and night. You remember them in the middle of the night and you are feeling so bad, sad about it. Whenever that person is in front of you, you can't be normal with him. Has it happened? Devotee is supposed to be Ajata Shatru. He has no enemy. He is equal to everyone. He loves everyone. But it is challenging. It is challenging. So therefore, our attachments are revealed in that way. That no, you may like it to hear, like Dhruva Maharaj saying, it is very good instruction. But he truthfully submits that I am not able to follow it. I am sorry for it. Therefore, your valuable instruction does not stand in my heart. It's leaking out. I am not able to hold on to your instruction. I am not able to follow. Any person who desires the fruits of the four principles, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, at the end, liberation. Dharma, artha, kama, mokshaksham, yam, ya ichhe, shreya, atmanaha. This is Narad Uvacha. Narad Muni, after hearing this, he becomes compassionate towards Dhruva Maharaj and says that, theek hai. Anyway, no problem. A dharma, artha, kama, mokshaksham, ya ichhe, shreya, atmanaha. One who is seeing his betterment in dharma, artha, kama, and then moksha, ekam hi eva hares tatra karanam padasevanam. Any person who desires the fruits of the four principles of religiosity, economic development, what was Dhruva's desire?
Have others love.
He wanted a kingdom which is greater than his father. So that comes in which category? Economic development. Right? I want 3 BHK, 4 BHK, no house. I want such a house. So here, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, artha. Dharma, why is he come out to pray to God? Dharma. He is come out, dharma, to pray. For what? Artha. By which kama can be satisfied and he will be delivered of his anxiety, moksha, his misery, by fulfillment of kama. Dharma, artha, kama, mokshaksham, ya ichhe, shreya, atmana. Means he is desiring liberation from miseries by the path of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So for them, expertly Narad Muni has given his verdict, what he should do. Ekam hi heva hares tatra karanam padasevanam. Should engage himself in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for worship of his lotus feet yields the fulfillment of all these, all of these. So, Karma Yoga means what? You are allowed to have desires, work on them, have your attachments, and get liberated slowly through these steps. But by what mechanism? Surrendering to Krishna. That is Narad Muni's prescription. You surrender to Krishna, whatever may be your state. So you surrender to Krishna. So that way, that path is prescribed. So, Mai Sarvani Karmani, 30th verse of 3rd chapter. Mai Sanyasya Matparaha. Ya Mai Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya Adhyatma Chetasa. Mai means Krishna is saying for me. Mai Sarvani Karmani, you do it for me. Sanyasya Adhyatma Chetasa Nirashir Nirmamo Bhutva Yudhyasva Vigatajvara. Krishna is saying that you should fight for the sake of satisfaction of me, Krishna. For satisfying Krishna, you Vigatajvara means you fight free from lethargy. No claims of proprietorship. You fight for me. This is my verdict. Krishna says in 3rd chapter. This is what I want. So Krishna has hinted that this is what my prescription is. And then he says both sides, he tells both sides. If you act according to my instructions, you will achieve perfection. But if you don't act, anybody who doesn't act according to what I am saying, he is going to be nashta, means he is going to be finished. His endeavors will not have any success. Krishna is clearly, ye te abhya suyanto nanutishtanti me matam. Nan anutishtanti me matam means मेरा मत अनुष्ठित मतलब पालन नहीं कर रहा है तो वो नष्ट भ्रष्ट हो जाएगा. तो that way Krishna is saying you work according to my instructions. So now gradually selfish person by karma yoga, who he reaches which platforms? He is doing for his own bodily self. Now he is going beyond and doing for according to the laws of nature, Krishna's laws, according to his matam. He is doing because he is fearful. Krishna is giving, आपका perfection नहीं होगा. He is attached to perfection. He wants to obtain something, so he is not going against the laws which are set up by Krishna. So that stage one gradually wants. Now, when one actually tries to do that in life, Arjuna's question then comes. I am being pushed to act certainly. I am spotting that in my personality. I am helplessly dragged to do or act in a certain way. How? Even if I don't want. That is stated in the 3rd chapter. Last time also we had discussion. So, Anichanapi Varshneya Baladiva Niyojita, Arjuna says. I don't want, but I am pushed. Anichan, even if I don't want. बलादिव मानो कोई बलपूर्वक मुझे खींच रहा है. तो a karma yogi, when he wants to become detached and act in Krishna's service or according to the laws of Varnashram, he is not able to do it because he is conditioned to act in a certain way. That is called as animal consciousness. Animal is helpless. Daiva. He acts according to his prarabdha, according to his already designed system. What is our body? Yantra. It's a machine. If it is a machine, it has specification. It has expiry date. You purchase 999cc car, or you purchase a 1200cc car or something beyond that. Can a 1200cc car drive at 1800 cc or 900 cc? Can it drive at 1200 cc? That power is not there. So our body, both gross and subtle body, has limitations, which is indicated by Dhruva Maharaj. I am born in a Kshatriya family. So according to our family culture, according to our past conditioning, our past lives, our karma, a certain body is given to us. A tree of mango is mango tree because of certain arrangement. Can it happen that oranges start coming on mango tree? Similarly, one who is on bodily platform cannot go beyond bodily dictations. He is forced to act helplessly according to body. If he has a disease inbuilt into his body, he can't do much about it. So, is it happening? I want to act in a perfect way. I am not able to act. That happens with us. So, therefore, this requires a very detailed guidance. One has to work according to the guidance of an authoritative representative, because one has to identify what is his varnashram situation, where is he situated, what he can do, what he cannot do, what is in his power, what is beyond his power. And then, of course, by acting in a transcendental way, by associating with a transcendental personality, one's past life reactions can be vanquished. In fact, Bhagavad-Gita Mahatmya says that if one is regularly hearing Bhagavad-Gita or following Bhagavad-Gita, the results of past life sinful reactions will not act on him. Means we were destined to act in a very sinful way, but since we are associating and following the Bhagavad-Gita, the prarabdha will change. Our capacity, competence will change. We are not animals to get dragged into destiny. We have privilege of something like the Bhagavad-Gita. That is the power that we have when we have Bhagavad-Gita. So taking out time to hear the Bhagavad-Gita is quite extraordinary activity. It's like, if a water reservoir at a very high level, height, if that water reservoir, the door is opened, then the water flows gushing down. Is it easy to block it again? No, just see those accidents, like in Uttarakhand, Gangotri, Yamunotri, इनका फ्लो बद्रिकाश्रम में इनका फ्लो रोकना पॉसिबल है क्या किसी भी ह्यूमन बीइंग को, किसी भी सिस्टम को? वंस दे आर broken, nobody can stop. Similarly, our destiny is so powerful. Bhishma Dev tells this in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like clouds helplessly flow with the flow of air in the sky, they are dragged into some direction by the wind. Similarly, this Lord Krishna, by use of his powers, he is taking all the living beings to their destiny. That is the power of destiny. But destiny can change because Krishna is driving it. And we are hearing from whom? Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Krishna. So who can change it? Krishna can change it. So we are hearing from whom? Such a marvelous, brilliant and complete controller of everything. We are hearing his instructions and he is saying. So this is very significant knowledge. Now from 3rd chapter to 4th chapter, the stress In the third chapter, both of them are parts of Karma Yoga as such. Although transcendental knowledge, Jnana Yoga, it is defined as knowledge, but it is knowledge of Karma Yoga. So the Siddhanta of how to do karma is more explained in fourth chapter. Third chapter is just pushing for work without attachment. But fourth is reasoning, solid Siddhanta. And this fourth chapter, we can expect that knowledge about the duties, how we should, in knowledge, how we can do our duties, what exactly should be done, what shall not be done. Tatte karma pravakshami. Krishna tells ahead. Kim karma kim akarmeti. Kavayo api atra mohita. बड़े बड़े कवि, बहुत इंटेलिजेंट लोग, all intelligent people also become mohita, bewildered, what to do and what not to do. Tatte karma pravakshami, Krishna says. That activity I will tell you. What to do and what not to do, I will tell. What is the difference between Kauravas and Pandavas? Pandavas are hearing from Krishna, Kauravas are hearing from Shakuni. Tatte karma pravakshami. Krishna is saying, I will tell you what to do. And Arjuna is hearing it. That is the difference. So, Krishna is going to tell us what should be done and what should not be done. For whom to work for. Material self. What for I am. We have to know it from authoritative source. And then what is the criteria for the person from whom we can learn this reliably? Who will tell us for whom we should work and for whom actually we should work? All that is revealed. The details are revealed. So here in the first verse we saw Ivam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam. Avyayam means eternal. This yoga, this what knowledge I am telling you, it is eternal. It is ever existing. The word Sanatan Dharma comes from this eternity. Avyaya. Vyaya नहीं होता जिसका, जो नष्ट नहीं होता है. That. So, living beings are eternal. We as spirit soul are eternal. Supreme being is eternal. But how are we into an experience of birth, old age, disease, death? How we have become mortal? Because this avyayam is lost. Because that relationship is gone. We have lost our relationship, eternal relationship with Krishna in our consciousness. So now it is re-establishing our relationship. That is what is Imam Vivasvate Yogam. The person, I instructed this in yoga, sun god, and Vivaswan instructed to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. This is the parampara. So here Srila Prabhupada has given the reasoning example of sun. Why sun only? One reason was given by Srila Prabhupada because sun god is Chakshu, eye of whole world, from whom knowledge of everything manifests. How do we know everything? When sun rises, we see. Primarily our evidences are based on seeing. You are hearing, you are confused from where the sound is coming. Who is the source? Who is speaking? Isn't it? So that who is mostly revealed by eyes. So whatever knowledge we have, that is coming from sun. Energy is coming from sun. Food, how it, how food is grown. There is a part of sun in it. The rains come because of sunlight only. So water has its, water reaches us because of sun only. So that way sun is instructed. And he is the oldest king, means oldest being. If you see sun, it is perfectly predictable when it rises and when it sets. The timings are fixed. Sun never crosses his limits. He does his duty perfectly. Why? Because Krishna has infused this diligence of duty in him. There is a long story in scriptures about sun god, how he came into existence, and everything is there. That detail we can't see. So Sun God is proper recipient authority. He was first in creation, and he is the eye of knowledge of the universe, wakes up the world and living beings. In Vedic scriptures, it is also mentioned Surya Atma Jagatas Stushascha. Surya Atma Jagatas Stushascha means sun is the Atma of world. Sun is the soul of the universe. So therefore, instruction to sun is like instruction to the soul of the universe. Therefore, Krishna is giving this instruction to sun god. Brahmanas, you must have seen Brahmanas, they do Surya Gayatri. They are from childhood, when they get initiated, they perform Gayatri Anushtan, Sandhya Upasana. It's sun's Upasana, by which their Vivek, Sat, Asat Vivek, the discrimination of what is Sat and what is Asat, what is soul and what is not soul, what is eternal, what is not eternal. That discrimination comes up in Brahmanas. Brahma Vijanati iti Brahmana. They know Brahman, means Atma. They know spirituality by the practice of sun gods, worship or Gayatri. So that is the way by which they get intelligence. And it is coming from Krishna. Surya Narayan. Narayan ka hi form hai Surya. So therefore this is instructed to sun god. And when was it instructed? The whole timeline is given. Are you interested in timeline? Timeline calculation, or is it becoming heavy? ये जड़ भरत प्रभु है क्या? If he wants to come, he can come.
One question, like previously we discussed about the work. So work is a broader term, or it's like a very day-to-day term, like we go to job, earn money, and that's the work, or like everything which we do is the work?
Everything we do, Kayena Manasa Buddhya Kevale Indriyedapi Yoginah Karma Kuruvanti. Karma means work. Yoginah Karma Kuruvanti. Karma कैसे होता है? Kayena, by body. Whatever you do by body. Manasa, by mind. Kayena Manasa बुद्धि से भी वर्क होता है. केवल ही इंद्रिय, without any intelligence, without being mind there, just by bodily senses also work happens. So work happens not only by going to office, work happens by any activity of body. Sleeping is also work. Not doing anything is also work. Yes?
So it is like Arjun says, I will not do any karma. So if you don't do anything, something is happening.
Yes, it's work. Yeah, yeah.
Can we act now? I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, forgive me, it's a very foolish question. Between karma yoga and bhakti yoga, Krishna said you are bound by duty, you have to do it. So, but we learn now that we don't have to get bind, right? We have to keep ourselves out of the bondage of the duty. Because how is Krishna telling us that we are bound by duty, we have to do our duty? And further we read that bhakti yoga is also important. We need to move towards Godhead, right? Back to Godhead. For that, Krishna also says in 14th chapter or something, he says that concentrate on me every second. Submit everything to me. Then I'm confused, like, if you do karma yoga, you should do bhakti yoga. But if I do bhakti yoga, I will not do my duty, which Krishna is saying, telling me to do. If I do karma yoga, I get less time to do bhakti yoga.
Okay. It's a quite profound question actually. We'll discuss it. Let us hear from Jadvarat.